Alright guys, so we are live. So what is up guys, it's Mr. T coming at you live from NYC. Welcome back to Convos, our podcast over here at Tim Talks. And hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So you guys read the title about what this is going to be about. And so, before I begin, I'm just going to make this really quick. I want to say thank you guys so much for everything that you've done to help make this channel and podcast grow. Again, it really means a lot. And I've been trying to reach out to as many people as I can, just to give my thanks for everything that you've done. And so, thank you guys for everything. It really means a lot. And, as we continue to grow this podcast, this channel, your support is just greatly appreciated. And I don't know how to express that apart from just saying thank you. I just want to give that brief because this episode is just a little bit serious. I don't want to downplay the mood or anything like that, but I just wanted to say that because, you read the title and I put a disclaimer just before I started this because what I wanted to focus on is this subject here, which we all know as suicide. Now, again, why I wanted to mention this, for any of you who came onto the channel, I know that I combine my podcast episodes alongside my memes, and so and that's good as well, just because of the fact that whether you get a laugh from the memes, which helps your mental health, but also on top of the fact that I also do these episodes where I started off my YouTube channel was just to do these podcast episodes, catering towards mental health. So again, I'll continue to uphold that. And so again, just to let you guys know that if you see longer episodes, that's going to be more serious topics. And if you see shorter clips, that's going to be based on, the funnies that I have. All right. But now onto the serious stuff. So again, with suicide, I don't know how to really lighten that because of the fact that, number one, it is a very serious issue. It is something where, many people have contemplated on. I've known some friends, both personal and just acquaintances, who have been through those kind of feelings. And it's disheartening as well when I've heard that. But not only from them, I've also heard from other people, even passersby, and sometimes these questions keep popping up in their mind, thinking, what is it that I want to do with my life? Am I going in the right direction? What's wrong with me? What the hell can I do to improve my life? Where's the future? What's the future hold for me? And all these thoughts, again, that's usually in a person's mind when it comes down to feeling suicidal. And so, again, this is also a very serious issue. It can even be considered an epidemic, a pandemic, alongside the one that we just gotten past. And it is wonderful as well that we got past the pandemic. And what, with COVID-19 and all, again, it's your viewpoint, it's your choice, guys, of what you believe about it. But what we do know is that alongside the cases with COVID, there were cases as well of people feeling mental illnesses, whether it be anxiety, depression, and what we're talking about today, suicide, right? And with this condition, again, this feeling, which again, even in my mind as well, and I'm saying this personally about, just to feel that you can conceive of the thought to actually, kill yourself, hurt yourself, do yourself self-harm in any way. And again, it's disheartening and it breaks my heart. Not only because I am a sensitive person in general, but also the fact of the matter is that, as a teacher, by profession, it hurts me as well when I've heard not only just older people go through this, but also younger people, having these thoughts, and your life is just getting started. And it pains me to say, again, with what's happening in the world, some people continue to feel those feelings today. And so even though I don't have those feelings, and even though I don't have that thoughts in my head with me now, and I hope I don't have those in the future. Again, I do feel that empathy, and I do feel that relatedness towards other people who feel that way, because of the fact that I'm focusing on mental health. And why I started this in the first place is to tackle that. And so this is gonna be something, guys, if you are very sensitive to this topic, again, viewer discretion is advised. I do advise you as well on this. But for example, if you want to know more about it, and then what you can do to help other people, and make possibly make a difference in another person's life. Because again, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the awards, all the fame, and you can publish so many things, you can do a lot of things with your life. But then again, you only have one, and to think that a person can sacrifice that, again, it's just very difficult for us people who are okay to think about that, but to know that it is happening. Again, one of the things as well, when it comes down to tackling mental illness, is to know that it is real, right? To know that whatever you're going through is real, and it is, without exception, something that should be tackled. It should be talked about. It should be expressed. And I'm gonna go more into that in a bit. But basically, what this video is gonna be about is, this is just my own personal advice. Again, I'm not a complete professional on this. I'm still working towards my degree in ed psychology. So again, this is just my own opinion on it, based off of not hearsay, but also my own research. So again, with whatever I'm saying over here, again, please take it with a pinch of salt, but also hopefully you might hear something that can help other people. And so, again, viewer discretion is advised. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, if you feel that you want to reach out, if you need more help, if you feel that I can reach out in other ways, that I can get you resources to help you if you're ever coping with this, that's completely fine as well. You can always reach out to me. Again, this podcast, this episode in particular, is going to be a little bit serious, just because of the sensitive nature of the topic, but also the fact of the matter is that we probably have all felt these feelings and emotions. So again, just to open them back up and to relive that, whether you're going through this now or whether you've moved past that, again, I'm opening up a can of worms, and it's gonna get a little bit hectic. All right. So again, from everyone, from myself over here in the studio to you guys, again, this is what we're discussing. All right. But before we get into this topic, again, I want to discuss first off what in the world this condition is, right? Part of the reason why people feel suicidal and why people feel the need to hurt themselves is because they don't understand what it is that they're going through. They don't understand what it is, this feeling, this deep sadness and emotion. And part of the reason as well is that denial that this is happening, right? And like I said, I haven't felt these feelings before, but I can imagine it in my mind, how it feels like when someone really feels like they have no meaning in the world, and that their life, that it's worthless, and they feel those kind of things. So again, I just want to give you guys a definition of what it means. All right. And this is provided by the CDC, the Center of Disease. I'm sorry, I'll just say the CDC. I'm not sure what the acronym is. I know it's the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Now I'm reading that now. So again, suicide is death caused by injuring oneself with the intent to die. So again, let me read that one more time. So it is death caused by injuring oneself with the intent to die. So again, reading that, there's just two main parts here. First off, it is death. Suicide is a form of death, or a way of death. And the second thing that is the most important bit to understand about this is that it was inflicted on oneself, right? So it is not, although other people may be causal in why people who feel suicidal have these thoughts, again, it's defined by the person themselves who commit that, right? And again, first off, it's not a crime. It's not those kind. If people think that it's bullshit, it's not. It's real and it's happening. And the fact of the matter is that this, again, is of your own will, your own volition, and that is the hardest thing, again, for anyone to have even considered. It's like a last resort. That's how a person has literally hit rock bottom in terms of how they feel, how they act, and how they think. They just cannot conceive of a future or see past and see their worth. And again, it's not that it's not because of the fact that it's their problem. No, it can even be the result of other people around them. People, that's what makes us we are a very strong species, we as humans, but the fact of the matter is that we also tend to look at the world around us and apply that to ourselves. And that's the case here when people feel suicidal, is that the more they see the world around them and they don't have that sense of self-worth and understanding, and people try to put them down and all those things, again, this is what leads people to have these fervors who wants to commit the inconceivable act to just hurt yourself. And so again, the first thing you want to acknowledge about this is that it's real, right? So if part of the thing as well, again, like I said before with suicide, is that people feel they don't have a sense of direction. But first off, the first thing you want to do is to, if you know someone who's feeling this, is to let them know that this is a feeling that's real, and that if people are downplaying the argument, cut them off, because it's not helping. The fact of the matter is, the person who is feeling suicidal, just acknowledging the fact that they're going through this feeling that is real, that they're feeling suicidal feelings in general, that already gives them a spotlight, because people will start to see, the people who feel suicidal will say, hey, this person is understanding what I'm feeling. Even if they may not be going through it now, at least they're acknowledging the fact that what the person who's suicidal is going through, again, it's happening, right? They're not being ignored. They're not being left in the dark. They're not going around just trying to find something. People are looking out to them and reaching out to them and saying, hey, what you're going through is real. It's something called suicide. And even if you may not be in the right sense of mind at this time, or may not feel you have a direction, we are there for you. That's why, we have today these suicidal prevention hotlines, and I'll also leave them in the description as well if you know someone, or if you yourself are going through these kind of feelings. Again, one of the things, that quote is like, ignorance is bliss. Again, that is very powerful, in that, when people ignore other people, again, just because that they're not going through things, they can live the good life. But what about the people who feel these negative thoughts, these feelings and these emotions, who feel that they feel worthless, right? It's blissful on one end, but it's like Isaac Newton, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Someone is feeling the hurt, and in this case, it's these people who feel suicidal thoughts, right? So again, the fact of the matter is that, one of the most important things in a way to prevent this is to acknowledge that it happens, right? Any person, no matter what age, no matter what gender, sexual orientation, race, and all those other factors, they don't matter in regards to this, because anyone can feel this. Anyone can feel it, and anyone in which is here in this world can feel these thoughts. So again, with suicide, I don't think I need to emphasize that any further, that it is a real condition and it can happen to people. And, it is, again, still hard to think that people can hurt themselves, but it can happen. I've seen it for myself. I've seen the signs. Some signs that I've seen as well is like people bashing their heads, sometimes cutting, and usually they target the wrist, which, again, is where they feel the most pain. That's why, the more pain they feel, like, that saying, no pain, no gain, where it's like more pain, more gain. That is very applicable in terms of someone who is suicidal, because they feel as though the more they inflict pain on themselves, the more they feel that they can go somewhere better. That's usually the case, right? The case of a suicidal person is to die, right? Thinking that by committing that, it leads them to somewhere better, right? Which, again, I'll leave it to your own thoughts about those kind of things, because, again, there's also the spiritual aspect of it, but I won't delve into that. I'm just trying to prevent it, all right? As much as to the best of my ability. Again, don't always take my word for it. And again, I'm also expressing my own thoughts and experiences, and so that's what I'm using as a result in this podcast, all right? So again, another thing as well with suicide, it is a leading cause of death, So again, with this condition, it's not just one of the many ways to die. It is one of the leading ways in which people are dying. So again, this is happening now in this day and age where people are doing it to themselves, right? It's not only at the hands of a gun, or not at the hands, but like at the end of the barrel, or those kind of things. Again, suicide is becoming more and more the option for people in which they want to die. And it hurts. It hurts as well to read this, and I'm reading this as well from the guide from the CDC, and also I'm also providing my own aspects in this. So again, that's where I'm getting my information, and so just know that whatever I'm providing is recommended as well, as provided by our National Health Service. So again, just keep that in mind. All right. So again, it is a problem, and it has been happening. It has been increasing, and to just know that it is here. Again, we as a people have to acknowledge that this is real, right? This is real, and this is happening. But I want to get down into something that I feel is more important as well, after acknowledging the fact that this is a condition and it is debilitating and it is harmful, is how to prevent it in the first place. So, guys, think about how did it come about in the first place? Why do you think people have felt these things? Again, it's not only just them, because they're only people who are suicidal are only reinforcing what they are seeing, right? Not only what they are seeing, what they are hearing as well, what even tasting and touching and all those kind of things. So, people who are suicidal, often the case, they're like the targets of bullying, right? They were picked on, touched on, and those kind of things. And they're witnessing people who just feel that if other people who think that they're worthless, and so they apply it to themselves. And also, just seeing those kind of things. And, again, people who are suicidal, again, they're the victims in all of this, right? I hate it as well when I hear people say, it's their fault and it's their issue. It's not, In fact, it's those kind of mentalities, it's those kind of perceptions, those viewpoints that is causing this problem in the first place, that these people aren't given the chance, and these people feel as though that everyone is targeting them, the world is crumbling around them, and that's just fueling the fire to this, right? So again, one of the important ways to prevent this is to know that it is real, and the second thing as well is to know what are the causes of it, right? And don't only just assume as well, if you're planning to help someone who is suicidal, or if you know someone who is suicidal, again, think outside of the box and think outside of them. What is happening around them that's giving them those thoughts. And for anyone who's listening right now who may be feeling suicidal, or who may be feeling these debilitating thoughts, again, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that this is happening. Because, what with the world around us, and this world is becoming more connected, we start to see other people, the more we apply it to ourselves, and the more we feel that we're not going in the right direction. So again, it's not your fault. In fact, it's because the world is becoming so big that we ourselves are feeling so small, Really think about it, right? The bigger the world gets, the smaller we are, and the more we think that we're worthless. That's actually also, I feel, as another case why suicide is on the rise, is because people are just trying to find their sense of worth and self and well-being in a world where it's becoming increasingly hard to do that, because people want to keep making statements. Have you noticed this as well? People want to leave their mark, and people want to be remembered, right? But if people, that's the thing I've also read as well, that the number one fear is for people to be forgotten. Even in death, people are afraid of being forgotten. So can you imagine as well that a person who is suicidal, right, can go the opposite direction and say, I want to be forgotten. I want to end this, and I want to find somewhere better. This world is to hell with it, right? So again, those are the thoughts that people who are suicidal go through, right? And so, here's some of the advice. Again, I'm not only just reading it off of what I've researched, but also I want to provide my own input on that. Again, I won't keep this long, because again, the longer I'm on, the more likely another person who's feeling these thoughts may be wanting to do that, commit that, right? So again, here's some thoughts, and here's the deeds as well on how to actually, get a person out of that mindset, right? So again, we already talked about how suicide make it known that it happens. And as well, know as well what is happening to a person who's suicidal. Look around them, look at them, right? Because by and large, it's the world around them that can be even a worse cause for suicide. So again, let me go ahead and read off of here on my notebook what it is that I found. So first off, again, if, for example, you yourself are not the best professional in which to talk to, again, but you are the first responder. So again, what you want to do here most especially, right, is to create a protective environment for a person who is suicidal. Let it be known to them that they are going to be in a safe space, because the environment around them can influence their thoughts about what's going to happen to them, right? So again, creating a safe space and getting them not away from those thoughts per se, but just to get away from the hostility in which they find themselves in, right? If they're being bullied, get them away from the bully. If their household isn't good, look for another place. Look for a place that's quiet in which they can confess and say their thoughts, right? And, find a place as well in which, there's limited risk for a person to do self-harm, right? Because again, a person who is suicidal, it's not that they're not in the right state of mind, but it's rather that they themselves aren't sure of who they are, right? They're lost, right? Suicide means that they're lost. They're lost and they don't know where, and they don't have many options in which they can go to, right? So again, they're trying to limit themselves. Have options ready, right? And especially with the environment, that's one of those options, right? So again, clarifying more on that provided by the CDC, they said here to reduce access to lethal means. Again, people who are suicidal are intending to inflict something on themselves. I don't want to discuss that because of the fact that it may be too graphic for this episode. But again, get them away from where they may do harm. Because you never know. You never know when the switch might go completely off. You don't know. And then so create also a healthy organizational policies and culture. Again, this is something that may be more formal, but basically, so to speak, talk to them. Talk to those people who feel suicidal and let it be known to them that there's a way to organize their life, right? And also get them away from anything that they can use as a form of abuse, especially drugs, alcohol. Get them away from that. It's not safe, and it's not gonna be helpful for them. All right. So again, you don't want to replace one problem with another problem. All right. So, in addition as well, once that person is in a safe space, again, I'm addressing as well those who may know someone who is suicidal, because I'm gonna touch base on those who are feeling those feelings, in this second part, all right? Again, there's not gonna be any radio, there's not gonna be none of that. I'm gonna go ahead and continue on to discuss this because this is important. So back to those people who know someone or who's who may know someone, whether a close acquaintance or whoever, right? Again, finding that safe environment is one thing. Another thing as well is to improve access for suicide care. Basically, find specialists. For example, that if you may not be qualified in which to talk to this person who may be feeling these emotions, seek someone who can. There's hotlines everywhere, especially, again, I can provide those as well in America, but also in other nations nations and continents across the globe. So again, there's always going to be help somewhere. Think of these hotlines as like a 911, right? A 911, but with more specialized care. So again, once they're in a safe space, find safe people to talk to. Again, take a look at places where they have specialists, have access to phone numbers in which you can be able to call them, and say, hey, my friend, he's feeling these thoughts, and would you talk to him, or may I refer him or her to you, right? And so again, just because the system is hard doesn't mean that it's inaccessible, right? There's always going to be a place in which you can find help for that person, your friend, him or her, whatever, right? So again, have those ready. Especially reach out and stick by that person, because you yourself, the moment you acknowledge to this person that I know what you're going through, you're their lifeline. Okay? So again, keep in mind as well that you are their lifeline. You are literally holding their life in your hands, right? It seems as though it's a big responsibility, and truth be told, it is, right? But again, approach it professionally as well. In that, if you're going to be their lifeline, seek help in a way that's appropriate, all right? And then after you find the care that they need, and then they see these specialists, and then they see the people in which they can help them professionally, continue to be there for them. Again, since you are their lifeline, you will be most likely the first person of contact. You will be there in which to discuss and help the professionals, but also to help the person in general, right? Be that connection and foster those healthy connections. That's what's also discussed here in this pamphlet. Again, make those healthy connections with the person. See what he or she is going through. And so work your way towards integrating that person into your life, because you by far have just saved their life. And again, don't just take pride in it thinking, hey, I saved someone from death. It's not a bragging right. Be humble in that this person who is showing these things it can also happen to us. Especially with the pandemic, I feel as though we've all felt that. At some point, one way or another, we have felt the same thoughts and feelings and emotions. And so, again, with that, we have to really be aware about our words, our thoughts, and our feelings, right? And again, there's a time for humor, like I said, on this channel. And you guys have seen it for yourself, but there's also a time as well where I just want to get to you guys when you need it most, right? And so again, back to what I was saying, yourself, and I'm addressing the people who may know someone who feels these things. Again, you are their lifeline. You were there when they needed it most. You are there when you found them help, and be there. Continue to be there for them, no matter what. Because honestly, everyone deserves their life. Regardless of what you feel, and I know I've expressed as well my own disdain as well for different kinds of people, certain kinds of people, not a bigot or something like that. But, people do deserve the chance to live. And this, especially in this case. And then following up from that, I'm going to go ahead and repeat the steps later on, all right? So again, teach the person how to cope in a healthy way. If with suicide as well, if they feel they need help, teach the person not to inflict the pain on themselves, and that other people can help them, not to share the pain, but also to at least help find a better way, find a solution, right? And find ways in which, teach ways in which that person can help himself or herself cope with what they're going through. Again, life may not be easy for everyone, and again, if you've been through the ringer, and I'm addressing people who feel suicidal not now, if you've been through so much, again, you deserve the chance to live. You deserve that chance, and I don't know how to express that more and more and more, right? So again, you deserve to live above all because of the pain and suffering you've been through. I have my word. You have my word on that. So again, back to those people who may know someone who is suicidal, again, teach them. Be their mentor, be their guide. Be their parent if you must. Because, you'll see above all what this person can become with just enough time and just enough love, all right? So, and then identify and continue to support other people, right? So, not only this person in general, but, learn from what you've done, right? Learn from what you've done to help other people who feel this way. Because, not only have you just saved another life, but this is also an important time as well to reflect on yourself, what it is that's important in life, right? whatever you've taught to this person who feels that they want to die, and now with your help that they want to live, apply that to yourself. What motivates you to live? What motivates you to go on, to push forward? Again, a lesson is not completely learned unless you learned it yourself, right? So that you apply it to yourself and think, this is real and it has happened, and I helped a person, but I know that I can do so much more, and my life has more in store. If you were able to save that person's life, you yourself are deserving to live, because you have just done something that many people still are learning how to do, and that is to value life. Again, with life, again, people find success, but this world, again, everyone matters. Everyone plays a part. One person can change this future. You never know when the next baby will be the next president. You never know, right? So again, just doing all these steps can make a difference, right? So again, let me just repeat this, and I want to address those people who had felt suicidal or who may be feeling it now, right? So before I get into you, and please hang tight, all right? So again, to repeat these steps, again, the first thing you want to do is to know what is suicide. Please be well informed of what it is before you get into actually helping other people, because even even the wrong definition can make a big difference and in the outcome. So just know what suicide is, and to know what can cause it, whether it be the person who is inflicting on it themselves, or whether there were other people and forces at play. All right. And then in addition to that, again, one of the most important things is to get them away from that hostile environment. Keep them in a safe space. And then from there, find those resources, find those specialists. Call the hotline if you must, if you need to reach, if it's a critical matter, all right? And then from there as well, help them to foster those healthy connections and to find other places outside, reinforce them that you are their first healthy connection, reinforce that and continue to help them. And then when they're ready to be up and on their feet, again, then the final step is to learn from it, right? Oh, but before that as well, teach them as well the steps in which how to cope healthily, right? How to cope in a better way, how to cope despite all odds. And then from there, apply all of this to yourself. Reflect on it yourself so that you yourself do not succumb and do not fall into this despair as well. Again, we ourselves are susceptible. We ourselves may be challenged by the world. And so, you just want to really think about that as well. Apply to yourself the same way this person who you helped applied what he or she has learned from you. All right? And now here's the most important bit that I want to talk about. I want to talk to you guys who are feeling suicidal, who are feeling pain, who are feeling guilt, who are feeling suffering, who feel that they want to end it all, right? Again, what you're going through is not nonsense. What you're going through is the hardest challenge anyone could ever go through in life. It's very difficult for you, and it's disheartening, and it's hard. I know. It's really hard. And even though I may not have felt those things, I've been through so much in my life that even I myself sometimes think of other people and think, how do you get through this? How do you get through life? But again, I'm reaching out as well to you to know that, remember the first bit that I said about reaching out to you guys, right? That you want to have a safe environment. This is a place where it'll be safe. I promise you, and let me be your first connection as well with whatever it is that you're going through. Whatever you're going through is not nonsense. Whatever you're going through is real, and you are hearing this from someone who does get it, who does care. And I'm not saying it in a way that's just professional, but I'm talking to you on a more personal level, that what you're going through is real. And if you need help, talk to me. I'll find ways to help you always. I'll find ways to help you, and we can see each other through and through the world. We can push through, make it to the very end, find our ways in life, find our ways through the hellscape that is the world, and make it our own, right? So again, whatever it is that you're going through, reach out to me. I will gladly be your first connection, always. I will gladly be the first one to help you. And we'll find our own way. We can find other people to help. We can find a safer environment for you. I can help you to find ways in which to cope with the world. And even as I say this advice, I'll continue to think about it myself and to know that, again, to reinforce that this can happen to anyone, and that you yourself by far are the most important person in this world right now. Your life is important. Your life matters. And you're here. If you're here now, I'll be here for you always. All right? And so, again, that's going to be it for this episode of Convos, guys. I know this was a little bit disheartening, downtrodden, and a bit of a serious topic, but it really is. And I just wanted to share, with you all that, again, whatever you're going through, it's not nonsense. Whatever you're going through is real. And again, whether you go opt for these serious episodes on the podcast or whether you go for the memes, you've seen that on the shorts or whatever, find where you think here on the channel. Find what you find here on the channel that makes you happy. If you want to be serious, you'll find them here. If you want to find somewhere lighthearted, you know where to go. But I'll be here for you always. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. Again, you can always consult the description for any resources that you might find. Again, you'll find the suicide hotlines there if you want to use those to reach out right away, and other organizations that help. Again, the thing with the National Suicide Hotline, you don't need to have you don't even need to have a service plan. You don't need, for example, Verizon or T-Mobile or whatever. It's just like 911, I promise you. It's just like 911 where you can reach out to other people. And so these hotlines are accessible no matter what. Get to a phone, you'll find them as well. And then other resources you can find online. But just know that, again, acknowledge that it is real, and you'll find your way from there. And if you need help, I'll be here for you always. All right? So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have been amazing. Please continue to live life. Please continue to help other people. Everyone is deserving of life. Whether you have been the helper or you are feeling these thoughts right now, you deserve life. You deserve the chance to live. You deserve everything in which that makes your life better. All right? So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, please like, share, especially share if this can help another person. Sub and much love. You guys have been awesome. Love you guys always. This is Mr. T signing off over here. I got more things to do. I got more people to help. Much love, everyone. And I'll see you at the next episode, all right? Peace out. Stay safe. Be healthy. Keep living and have an awesome day, all right?